Okay guys, the only way for me to do this is to do very small increments, so bear with me. I still haven't downloaded the movie maker. So what are we doing? We're working on Junior's car. We got some hinges. I just want to show you what we got out here. What you've seen before. We got the Corolla furring along, the 93. We also got the 95 Rockwood. The reason I bring that up is you just insure this baby to put it back on the road. And what that is it's a high top custom Ford E150 van. So look forward to that. Okay, so we're back in here. What are we working on? We're working on the hinges. We're gonna mount the hinges to the car right now. So the studded part goes to the car. Boom. We'll use that as an example. And this hinge part with this goes to the hatch. Okay, and they break. And this is why they break. They use the hatch pistons to hold it up. And when you lift it, the hatch pistons puts a massive load back upward because of the way they spaced it. So if this is the way it sits on the car. When you lift the hatch, the way the hatch pistons are angled, it pushes up on this. And there's just not enough strength to hold it. Now, I got two. Well, there's all the speckles on them. Two clean ones that I've had. One was on the car, one was a spare. This one was one of the original ones from the car that broke, and then I have one that's just as crappy looking sitting inside the house. There is somebody starting to make these in aluminum. Okay, but they're not ready yet. We can't wait no more. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get these on the body. We have an assortment of new and really nice original ones for the body side to go on there. So I'm probably gonna go with the original ones on the body, and I've already used two of these on the hatch to test it. And the reason I had to test it is I found out, and many people probably don't even notice, this comes in two different lengths by the thickness of, I gotta look back at it, 1/8 of an inch. So now this, when you slip this through the hole of the hatch, and there's a bolt that goes on the bottom, when you tighten it, this touches the hatch. And then this bites into the rubber and seals it and keeps the hatch from moving all around. If this is too long, okay, this never seals. That's one of your problems. And you're relying on just that to keep the hatch moving. Now, I didn't even know that, because when the one hinge broke, I held it up, Junior held it up, and I put a second hinge on, tightened it, called it good. We didn't care. Hatches don't line up in these things anyway. We're about to go into horrendous land, and there's nothing you can do about it. Never realized that this was too long. And when you looked at it, when I went to mark them up on the hatch, that's when I realized you could see a parting line, and then like 1/8 of an inch. And I looked at that and I was like, my 69 Chevy pickup truck, okay, when I put that thing together, I went to the Chevrolet dealer, which was our sister dealership at the time, and walked in and bought them brand new. There was no aftermarket stuff. You bought it brand new from the dealer. That's how long ago we're talking. Talking 1988. And when I got it, the little button that sticks out to press the latch on the door had two different lengths there, and then there was an area to cut it, depending on what latch you had inside the car, because I know they changed the mechanisms from 67 all the way to 72. And that just clicked in my head. I was like, that's supposed to be machined off. Okay, now this one clearly came that way because it still has the chrome around it. But I machined it right to that lip, both of these, which you can't tell now, which makes it exactly the same as these. I put it on the hatch, tightened it, and maybe 3/4 of a turn before, it was just touching the rubber nice. And 3/4 of a turn, it pushed into the rubber a little bit, it was good to go. So, and one quick note on this before I toss it in the pail. You guys remember last year the Ariens 5-horse when the piece of rubber shut off and we did the super glue test. Okay, this piece of rubber was broken from here to right across my thumb. There's actually a little, even the section missing out of it. You can see there's a double line. And if you remember, I gave the hub a light scuff and I glued it, which was kind of difficult because the piece, this is a 1969, so the piece was kind of stiff. You can also see its original part. The piece is kind of stiff and wasn't quite touching. You can see this has a double break. And it made it through 2.5 snowstorms. And then all of a sudden it stopped and I had to give it a little push to get it moving again. And it's free. Believe it or not, it's still hooked there. And this rubber is hard. This rubber is stiff. Okay, but it's still hooked to the other end. I'm sure if I play with it, he'll snap it off. Maybe. But I just figured I'd show you guys that. Where are we? I figured I'd show you guys that. There you go. I bent it and broke it off, and I broke it right next to the glue. See it? The glue's to the left of it. It's not going to focus in on it. I think it's down over here is what it's looking at. But the glue's right to the left of it, so I just actually broke the rubber. There's fresh rubber. You can see how chalky it is in my hand. So we put that part on, and the points failed. So we got new points for it, but we don't need it. So with that, guys, this 3-minute video turned into 7. Let's call it good. We're hanging up and start putting these on, and we'll move ahead. And then as we're putting it on, I'll discuss what's happening with the car. That's the interesting part.